I want to take you live to the ground in Iran for a rare look inside the country. CNN operates in Iran with the permission of the government, but maintains full editorial control of the reports. Matthew Chance is there, and he got a first-hand look at some of the destruction on the ground.
A rare glimpse of the tightly controlled Islamic Republic. We drove out of Tehran, the bustling but still tense capital, past anti-American slogans daubed along the route, to the town of Karaj and one painful scar left by the latest US-led war. When finished, the B-1 bridge was meant to be a symbol of Iranian engineering prowess, the tallest in the region. But for now, it's become a battered monument to ruthless American air power. Wow, well, you really get a sense of the incredible destructive force that was at play with these US airstrikes that smashed this concrete look and twisted all this reinforced steel. Let's take a look, see if we can get closer, a bit closer to the edge. I mean, look at the concrete pylons that have been absolutely shattered. And down here, I mean, it's a huge drop of 450 feet. This was, as I mentioned, the highest bridge in the Middle East. And there were people down below who were caught up in this and killed. And the Iranian official who was sent to show us around insisted this targeting of infrastructure and the killing of innocent civilians was a war crime that should be punished. It's an allegation US officials categorically deny. The Americans say that this was a legitimate military target, that this bridge would have been used for the transport of drones and missiles, and therefore it was fair game. How do you answer that?
That's a false narrative from President Trump. This bridge hadn't even opened. Not a single car had driven over. It was built for the use of our people and was just called a military target so it could be bombarded, demolished and destroyed.
Back in April, Trump posted video of the attack on his Truth Social platform, urging Iran to make a deal before it's too late. Now, after his state visit to China, there's still no deal. And Trump is raising the issue again amid concerns the fragile ceasefire with Iran could soon break down.
We haven't knocked out other than one bridge that we did because they misbehaved, but we have bridges we could knock out. We could knock out their bridges and their electrical capacity. Within 2 days, we could knock out the whole thing.
It's a terrifying possibility, but one that doesn't seem to be giving Iran much pause.
Why is it important for this country to rebuild the bridge now, when there's the possibility that the Americans could strike it again in the near future? Why now?
We're not thinking about that. Our focus is on the reconstruction of our bridge. It was designed and built by our engineers, despite many difficult years of sanctions.
And amid growing tensions with the US, Iranian officials insist this symbol of the Islamic Republic will rise again.
Well, Sarah, those remarks by President Trump that he could easily destroy Iran's bridges and its electrical capacity, obviously raising tensions with the Islamic Republic. Iranian officials have appealed to China to use their diplomatic influence to try and bring a solution to this. But I can tell you the sense tonight in Tehran, the Iranian capital, is that fragile ceasefire with the United States could quickly fall apart. Back to you.
New reporting at the top of the show that Trump may be moving closer to new strikes on Iran. What would this accomplish in your mind?
Well, certainly it would create more devastation, casualties within Iran, but also could lead to a wider conflict throughout the entire Gulf region, and certainly would send oil prices skyrocketing and really hurt the economies and the jobs of people around the world, not just here in America where we're facing high gas prices, but really affect the industries and the jobs of people throughout the world.
Evelyn, would new strikes actually go towards ending the war or trying to end it quicker, or would it potentially prolong this?
Sarah, I don't think new strikes would bring an end to the war. And it's interesting to me that nothing came out of China, because that tells me the Chinese actually aren't even trying to dissuade us from using force, or at least I didn't hear anything along those lines. That tells me that the Chinese think it might be a bad move for the United States, to use military force because it won't work. And the Chinese will be happy to watch us make a bad move. So what am I saying here? The Iranians will make a deal if we give them something they want, and that's about diplomacy.
Secretary Locke, you heard Trump just a few minutes ago tell Fox News, "I did not underestimate anything when it comes to Iran." Do you think he did underestimate Iran's ability to take this?
I think he very much did underestimate, because in the first few days of the war, in late February, he said it was over, and that it would just be a matter of days before he would accomplish all of his goals. Yes, he took out the top leadership of Iran, and they had over 13,000 military strikes. And when you add the number of strikes by Israel, it's over 30,000 military strikes. And yet here we are. The Strait of Hormuz is closed. There's a blockade of Iran by the United States, and nothing has really changed.
Evelyn, you just alluded to this, that it appears that Trump wasn't able to convince China to do anything to help stop this war with Iran. And we know U.S. allies in Europe haven't been willing to help. So this war has sort of created even more distance between Trump and some of America's closest allies. In that context, let's play something the German Chancellor Friedrich Merz said today.
Ich bin ein großer Bewunderer Amerikas.
I'm a great admirer of America, but my admiration is not growing at the moment.
Ich würde meinen Kindern
I wouldn't recommend that my children go to the U.S. today, get their education there, and work there.
What do you think this says about America's standing in the world at this point, that a U.S. ally would say something like that?
It's so low that inside these countries, for the chancellor, for the leader of a major German political party, the one that's still in power right now, that's struggling to stay in power, it's politically smart to say bad things about America and to dissuade his people from thinking positively about their number one ally historically, or in recent history. And so Sarah tells me that he's not afraid to insult us or President Trump because he believes that it's in his political interest domestically. And right now, I just want to tie it back to Iran. We need those European allies. At the end of the day, this is only going to be solved through diplomacy, and we need the Europeans for that because they have the other economic leverage required to give Iran something, which is relief from sanctions.